GamerFeed Radio.
What's going on, everybody, and all the things out there? It is post E3. Well, it's still kind of going on technically, but we're going to talk about all the big press conferences here on GamerFeed Radio. So we're happy to have everybody. It's going to be a power hour and plus or minus 10-ish minutes.
Probably a lot longer than that.
Emphasis on the ish.
Powered decathlon.
Well, I hope all the listeners understand if I dip out early, I got like $200 in games to buy.
We are, yeah, right. So. Welcome to the show. We're going to break it down conference by conference, and at the very end, you're going to get our interestingly unique opinion on whether or not we thought there was a winner.
Ooh.
And
there was.
Certainly a winner.
And what we think of all the interesting things as we go. I'm joined today by the classic crew. Hi, I'm Nick. Followed by, we'll go around in my clockwise reverse music.
I was trying to do your thing, man.
But that's okay. They got the tail end of it, so it kind of sounded good. And
you want it again?
Nick. With musics and things.
Yeah.
Co-hosted this evening by the one and only, the Rob Pugh. Hey. So angelic.
I so want a good Metroid game.
And the weeping.
The wounds are fresh.
The weeping continues. Followed around the table by thine Kyle Pope.
The pontiff.
So appropriate.
So wrong.
So appropriate.
And finally, last and certainly least, Brad Wallace. He's always crying. If you
the Nintendo digital event of the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Brad Wallace. That's too harsh. That's way too harsh.
I don't think it's actually that harsh. So, speaking of which, let's go ahead and hit that recap. We're going to start from the top and do the rundown.
Yeah.
So first up, we had a really interesting showing from Bethesda. And Bethesda, being their first time out, right, had some pretty cool announcements to share with the universe. So we'll go ahead and kick it off with your impressions and thoughts on all the games, starting with Doom.
Yeah. I am so excited for I wanted Doom so bad. I haven't played in probably since 2. I didn't play 3. Just because I didn't have the console at the time. I wasn't,
Well, then, yeah.
But I want a new Doom so bad. They're going back. It's a kind of soft reboot sort of thing. Right. It looks gorgeous. It looks gory as hell. I'm so excited for it next year.
And that's all that really matters.
Right?
It's Doom.
Look, it's going to be a great game. I mean, fans of the series, I think, have been waiting long enough for an update. So,
it looks like the way the Wolfenstein game that just came out. It was like a reboot of that. It's kind of the same deal where it's like old school and arcadey.
Yeah.
It's not like Doom 3 was like this survival horror, like totally not with the same line of the series.
But nowadays it feels like everybody's chasing Call of Duty. Basically, everybody's kind of going that vein. Having something that's more that old school vein.
But also, I feel like they can catch up because I feel like Call of Duty is kind of slowing down.
Stagnant.
I mean, still, it's Call of Duty. It's the biggest
COD for those.
It's the biggest shooter ever, probably.
Yeah.
But it just feels like everyone's finding interest in new things. And
But Doom has a different feel to it, so there's a place for that now. I think with all the shooters out there, still there's a place.
Yeah.
And it's got such good history, right? I mean, everybody remembers the horrible graphics on your, Pentium 1.
I love the shareware. That was my first
system
one,
back in the 90s.
Well, it has just such iconic characters. I mean, Pinky and the Hell Knights and whatever it may be, the imps. Everybody knows what they are, and even if it's a whole new coat of paint, you recognize it.
Right. No, that's fair.
John Carmack missing is kind of sad because he left and went to Oculus. The other guy, Romero.
Yeah, John
Neither
Romero.
of them.
Yeah, we'll touch on Oculus momentarily. So that's our reactions on Doom. How about Dishonored 2? Anybody play the first one? Does anybody care? It got a lot of buzz.
It did.
I mean, a lot of people were talking about it, and it was trending there actually at one point on Twitter, and I was like, "What's the big deal?" I don't know anything about it.
I never played it. I don't even know what it looks like.
I don't either.
I don't care about it at all.
Well, that made that quick. And that's okay. Fallout 4.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Oh, my God. Yes, please, more.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I never even played the old Fallout games, but I love Bethesda, and I love Todd Howard, and I love that style of game, that this might be the one that I jump on.
I didn't play 1 and 2, but I played 3, and that's
right,
enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nobody
enough.
played 1 and 2. But Fallout 3...
No offense to old school Fallout fans. I'm just saying, like, 3 was so amazing. It's so like mind blowing as a game, and except for the ending, but whatever.
Somebody's salty.
But I mean, like games like that where they add in like the sandbox and the RPG elements, I adore those because yes.
No, you and I are on the same page with that. So what about? I just actually read something just before the podcast started. Apparently, they're giving it some customization options, like you can put your own music in, and you can do some other Minecrafty type things where you can really customize parts of the game.
They showed off like base building, which looked like Minecraft.
Yeah, kind of like
stacking
that.
Blocks,
Yeah.
I guess that wouldn't interfere with any copyright issues. What if you insert your own music?
No, everybody likes to stack blocks. I mean, kids do it with boxes.
I'm talking about music.
Oh,
music.
Custom soundtrack.
Well, I mean, I don't know because Sony had its media player release, and everybody wanted that so they could jam to their own tunes out and pay for Spotify and crap.
Word.
So
Yeah, that's true. All right,
But this makes me more excited about the next real Elder Scrolls game, because that means if they're this far along in Fallout, that hopefully just take the same engine.
Speaking
and
of
just
Elder Scrolls,
put it in Elder
just
Scrolls.
blend right in.
yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It's there. It's a thing.
I'm super excited because we all know how much I love Hearthstone. About the Elder Scrolls
Legends,
Yeah, that's going to be great. I can't wait.
And so, what is it about it that you're stoked about?
That it's an Elder Scrolls Hearthstone clone. That's all I need. That's it. Like, I'm set.
So better.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
I mean,
They didn't show what it looked like really at all.
I prefer Elder Scrolls to Warcraft. So
Well, yeah.
Which is funny because I never played Warcraft. I mean, I played Warcraft 3.
Yeah, I
but
played
never World of
Warcraft 3 is amazing.
Yeah.
So-
but I still love Hearthstone.
Well, I mean, I know it's a problem for you.
Well, we know.
You
It
go
is
from one
addiction.
addiction to another.
I've probably sunk hundreds of hours into Hearthstone.
Put it in,
a ridiculous.
Put it in this perspective. I'm obsessed with a physical card game. You're obsessed with a fake card game.
Well, or the opposite. Mine takes up less space. It's
Wow.
cheaper. I've never spent a single.
Well done.
I've never spent a single penny on it. I've only earned my in-game.
Wow,
gold.
apparently I just inherited a Brad snort. That was bad. It was just like that because you did it on the PlayStation DLC. Okay, so Bethesda in general, thoughts about the press conference overall? I mean, everyone thought they did a great job for the first.
From what I hear, I
didn't
watch it. I was at work.
I watched trailers after
Most
the
people
fact,
are. Yeah,
Right.
I watched most of the trailers too. But the general consensus out in the community is that they did a great job.
Well,
for
yeah,
the first go around.
they had a lot of great titles to announce.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Who doesn't want a whole lot of that action?
right, exactly.
And I think that's the trick moving forward with these third-party conferences is that, you don't necessarily... I don't think there's an expectation for them to have one every year.
No.
It's just when you have a critical mass of games, by all means, go for
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
That way you can own your own stuff rather than having it nibbled off by the big three, basically.
Yeah.
Like, perhaps, maybe happened with Square. We may talk about that later.
Oh, we
Yes.
may.
Oh,
we may very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Bethesda? Any other games or
Some
anything
exciting
else?
stuff's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good. I'm glad to see that different publishers are starting to step into the ring to really highlight their stuff. I hope that we see more of that. I mean, it's great to have the console stuff, too, and I understand they want to save some of the announcements for that, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But I like that.
I will say, just briefly, because I love Todd Howard and I love Bethesda, that there's a great documentary on YouTube. I don't know what it's called, but if you just Google the making of Oblivion, it's like this 45-minute thing on how that team works.
You have 45 minutes to watch something on that?
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
I don't know.
All
If you
the
guys,
time.
you
Well, he
guys-
only has one job nowadays. So.
Yeah, that's true. I have time. I have nights.
I don't believe you. I never see you online, so you don't have nights. You're never online.
Yeah, well, I don't touch my PS4.
Well, you need to work on that.
I was playing GameCube.
I'm going to get you in.
I'm like, summer is like old school back.
We're going to Vault a Glass it together.
See, that's winter for me. Winter. That's why I never hooked up my PS4. It's because I was just playing old games.
You're hibernating?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Microsoft, right? So Microsoft has all the things. They had a much better press conference than last year.
Yeah.
And they had a whole bunch of interesting things. So we'll start with the, I think, obvious iteration that everybody's coming out with this generation, which is the HoloLens, which they used specifically with Minecraft as a demo. Thoughts?
Don't care.
No, I don't care either.
Slightest bit.
I thought it was really cool, but that's just because I'm a Minecraft fan.
Sure.
So, but I mean, are you
Microsoft
going to go
is-
buy a table and I could see you buying a table and then just you standing there moving your hands around awkwardly
Well,
in midair.
seeing as how I don't have an Xbox One, that's kind of a hurdle to that little plan there.
Damn it!
This is true.
You're always
but
crushing my dreams.
But I mean, in terms of tech, I think it's getting into virtual reality without doing Me Too. They have a different enough spin on it that they can be late to the party and not necessarily get whacked for it.
Yeah.
I think there was some interesting in-game with that one title, and that's the trick. With that one title, there was some interesting connectivity with it. because it kind of turned Microsoft into a multiplayer. Well, not that it's not already multiplayer, but it kind of added almost a game master element to it.
Okay.
Where you've got one person that's looking at the overall and telling you where the stuff is, and she's digging through it and all that stuff. That I thought was really cool.
Okay, I think that's fair. So what about Gears? Gears 4 announced, Gears of War. I mean, people are like massive fans of the series. They've been waiting forever.
I know, but I thought the series kind of
died.
It not died, but like 3 was really good on a cinematic level, and I feel like that could have been like the finale. Really,
I think it was probably supposed to be.
Yeah, and they could have gone in other directions and make new IPs. I think.
Okay, completely ignorant here because I haven't played any of the Gears games, especially 3, which I think ties into my question here. But where's Marcus?
Marcus?
Oh, wasn't he like...
Where's Marcus Phoenix?
I don't remember if
Gears
he
of War
dies
4,
or if
I don't...
his friend dies, but someone dies at the end of 3.
Did he die?
It's sad as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like tear-jerking.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering if this was another let's do Halo without Master Chief thing.
Oh my god!
Because I know nothing, but I see this trailer for Gears of War 4. I'm like, where's the lead character of the series?
Yeah.
I don't. So I was confused because I don't know anything.
I don't think he ever.
I don't think he dies. Right. I think it's
No.
just a spin-off thing.
Yeah, maybe it is.
It was also weird that they announced it as Gears 4 and then afterwards said, no, the full title is Gears of War 4. It's just for that trailer we put Gears 4.
Well, they're stylizing. They're being
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I keep telling them that this is what happens when you have
has to
old
be
men
shorter.
running things.
I don't think that was
shorter,
worth
it's
closing.
cooler.
It hashtags easier.
Gears 4.
Yes, it does. It does.
You could have gone GOW 4 or
Oh,
something.
God.
Like,
No, Gears 4 sounds better though.
I mean,
Gears 4.
Unless you're a
So
purist,
stoked for Gears
of
4.
which many of us are. So let's talk about the obvious non-mention, really, of all things Kinect. Kyle, you and I talked about this on the Xbox DLC.
If talk is what you want to use.
It was an interesting exposition. Yeah, what? You're digging?
For those that can't see, Rob is miming dirt being thrown on the Kinect's grave.
Oh. Well, actually, there was a really great article that I posted on our Facebook page at GamerFeed Radio. That's also our Twitter handle, kids. And it did show like a tombstone, and it had RIP, and it was like Kinect is over, and
of course it is.
Yeah.
Like
it was over before it started, literally.
I
And I'm not
know.
just saying that, but like, there's a reason they dropped it like 3 months into the life cycle.
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
system. It's just, no one's buying. No one.
no.
well, and that was part of the reason too why early on, right? They dropped the bundle with the camera included,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, now you don't have to get it anymore, and Sony was like, hey, you don't have to do that at all.
But then the weird thing about that is that they dropped so they've got 2 different SKUs now. They've got it with the camera and without, and then the one without they keep discounting and discounting and discounting and discounting, whereas the one with stays the same price. It's like they don't care about it anymore.
On their website, they don't even show the bundle anymore.
Yeah.
You cannot buy an Xbox One with a Kinect on Xbox.com.
Huh.
You can buy a 1 terabyte version and then 2 different 500 gigabyte versions. So those are the only 3 they have on there.
terabyte.
None of them have a Kinect.
Weird.
So much data. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's amazing. A freaking terabyte.
It's $400
it's not
for a terabyte.
Really, it's not that much.
Right.
I mean, you just got your PS4. It's
Yeah.
going to fill up in no
I
time.
know it is.
So twice that, I can't
might fill
imagine
up
being that
tonight.
much.
I'm gonna be
So,
very busy tonight.
speaking
kids.
of hardware, what about the new Elite controller that they released and
So
announced?
stupid. That was like
Is
the
it not?
dumbest
I
thing
don't
I've ever
even
seen.
know.
I mean,
wasn't paying
there was
attention.
an article that came across. It was on Kotaku or one of those where they actually got like a hands-on with it, and they were like,
I'm sure it feels good,
surprisingly,
yeah.
it was. They're like, this is pretty sexy.
Well, one thing is you can never review anything based on its price, but it's
Yes, I can.
$150. Well, if you imagine if you found it in some bargain bin for $20, it'd be the greatest controller ever made.
Do I want
But-
to get this controller or do I want to get a Kinect?
Ooh. Actually, the controller would be a much better investment.
Yes,
There you go.
A considerably better investment than the Kinect. Yeah, no, I don't care at all about it. The stupid disco ball
dropped the mic
D-pad,
after that.
that thing
Yeah.
looks stupid. Luckily, you can swap it
shimmers.
out, the feature that people think they want, but is actually the dumbest thing imaginable. Like, oh, here's your different stick heads, and here's your different
All the
D-pads
Xbox
and your-
people that listen to this are like, he is such a douche.
Well, it's the dumbest thing I've ever
They
seen.
are right. I'm just saying.
It is pretty stupid. I don't know.
Okay,
But
I don't
mean,
think it's worth taking up time on their press conference. Like, why would they?
well, I think there is an audience out there for it that maybe we don't appreciate truly how big it is.
The people
but I'm
who
sure,
spend $700 on a Turtle Beach headset, for example.
Yeah.
But apparently this went over really big with that particular audience, the hardcore, we want, competitive crowd.
Literally just
Interesting.
like tournament Call of Duty players.
Yeah.
That's like all I can think of.
Well,
But-
maybe that's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Okay, next on the rundown is Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? They did bunches of trailers, and it got pretty decent reaction. Rob is
Sadness.
doing sad face. Why?
Sad face. Because I have to wait for it.
Yeah.
I'm still so fishy about that.
So I mean, it looks good,
Especially from Square. Like, they have such a long history with PlayStation. You'd think that would just be like...
When you got that Microsoft
Well-
money, son.
Yeah, that's true.
This is true, and it's not like they aren't shoring up their losses elsewhere with money from Sony,
Yeah.
with other franchises that we may talk about later.
In just a minute.
But I mean, I dug the demo. I thought of what it is. I thought that was kind of a boring slice of the game to show because I mean, everybody that's played the last one knows the climbing sequences and all that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there has to be something else not too deep into the game they could have shown that would have been a little bit more impressive, a little more interactive than climbing. But I mean, it looks good. It looks very much to be a sequel of what we played before. So those of us that did play it before and enjoyed it kind of know what we're getting. And I can't wait for the exclusivity to wear out.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I was going to say was, kind of bites that it's just on Xbox and
Yeah. But by the same token, if it came out, and I don't know for sure off the top of my head because I stopped paying attention as soon as I heard there was exclusivity, but it is coming holiday, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think I heard that.
It's
Yeah.
confirmed because their big thing is they're pushing that they have the best exclusives this fall, which it's hard to argue that they don't. So
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to be perfectly honest with you. If I'm getting being the console gamer that I am, if I'm getting 3 Uncharted's in October and 1 more in spring of next year, Rise of the Tomb Raider, as much as I want to play it, is not looking that good to me. Whereas if it comes next fall, I'm all about it.
yeah.
So
definitely it's going to come down to a timing issue.
yeah. So I mean, it's fine. I'm perfectly okay with, despite the saltiness, I'm perfectly okay with having to wait for it because there's enough other things
So
that are
salty.
close to it
Yeah.
that's going to fill that gap.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's really not salty because anybody who listens to this show knows that, we publicly admit that Xbox is not our forte. So the fact that we have this much opinion on it at all is really quite
we haven't
impressive.
gotten to the one thing. I have some
I
surprise
know,
news.
we're getting
that I might
there.
be
We're getting there.
announcing.
All right,
Oh,
so what about the
jeez.
rare replay that they announced?
Yes, that is like the freaking best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's not.
That's the
though.
one thing that made me like. Well, there's another thing that we haven't.
We'll
talked
talk about it.
yet.
It's almost there.
But that is one of the few games that, like, if I got an Xbox One, that would be the one. Like,
But you're not gonna.
You
No, I'm totally gonna get the. Okay, I'll I'm going to get an Xbox One. That's my
Really?
I mean,
plan.
so am I eventually, but
Yeah.
right now it's just like
I
whatever.
will the second they put a couple of my favorite 360 games on backwards compatibility.
Okay,
Which
we're
I
gonna
thought we would.
We'll talk about that too because I'm kind of shaky hand on
But
that.
rare replay. I mean, literally just for the Banjo games and like Perfect
It's
Dark
all
Zero.
on live
and-
though.
Yeah, but it's $15 to get Banjo Kazooie right
okay,
now on an
that's
Xbox
true. But I
360.
mean, I guess I already bought
Yeah.
the reboots and the.
Well, the best part
Xbox
is
Live
those
ones.
would
So I'm just
carry
like, Why would
over.
I want to?
because they're backwards compatible now.
I guess,
But-
yeah. that's
Well,
true.
what about the suspicious absence of GoldenEye?
Oh, they already talked
Right.
about.
Yeah, rights issues. They already talked about
Oh, for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One because
I'm just
now
making sure our listeners know because it.
Activision owns James Bond property. Nintendo probably owns some piece of N64.
Of course they do.
GoldenEye.
EA
Right.
probably still has publishing rights on that, don't they?
No,
Right.
EA gave it up to Activision,
Oh,
which is
okay.
why we have 007 Legends and the GoldenEye remake for 360 and PS3 and Wii.
But that
Which
was,
was
I
okay.
could have sworn that was EA.
EA's last game was like Everything or Nothing in 05.
Well, you can also get your EA
Activision's
Access
first
Vault
game
too.
was Quantum of Solace, unless they got it back. But I'm pretty sure that Activision owns James Bond games right now.
Point
know
being,
how-
it's a tangled web.
It is
and
a
Nintendo,
very tangled web.
Nintendo still has a certain amount of rights regarding the 64 game
Right.
too. So,
But
why
Perfect
they
Dark is
remake
on
it.
there, and I think it's a port of the Xbox Live Arcade version of Perfect Dark.
I believe so.
Which had a couple of remade GoldenEye maps in it, despite it not being GoldenEye. So you could play
Sure.
like Facility, I think, and like maybe a couple other famous ones
Yeah.
on Xbox 360. Because apparently Rare was trying to make a GoldenEye remake, just like they did for Perfect Dark on Xbox, but there was, like we said, tangled web of nonsense that prevented them from doing so.
All right, so since we just got that diatribe, how about we just give them more time? Dark Souls 3.
Well, see, the disappointing thing was they didn't show any gameplay. It was just
Yeah.
a logo. And, like, obviously those games speak for themselves. You play one, you've really played them all. But I was still hoping for a demo or something. Like, throughout the whole conference, they didn't show anything.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of disappointing. But it's Miyazaki directing. He's the guy who did Dark Souls 1, Demon's Souls, and Bloodborne. He did not direct Dark Souls 2, which some people don't like, but I think is better than the first Dark Souls. But for all intents and purposes, this should be the best one, closing out the trilogy, next gen only, all this stuff. But sounds good to me.
Well, that's it, everybody. The Brad Wallace Show. Anyway,
I could have gone a lot longer.
I'm glad that you didn't. Okay, so we kind of touched on it before, but I do think it bears repeating, is the backwards compatibility was kind of like their bombshell announcement. But after reading some of the articles about what it is, it's basically like a video code. It's like just an extra video codec that they're putting in.
Yeah.
It's what the Wii mode is on the Wii U.
Right.
It's not...
Right, so my point is, it's not real... I mean, they're calling it backwards compatibility because it gives you access. But my argument, and Rob and I talked about this earlier today, it's kind of similar to what PlayStation is doing with PS Now.
No, it's totally
access
different.
to the same games.
It makes PS Now look so much worse than it already looks.
Why?
Because now you can go to
It's the same
GameStop
thing.
and get Fable 2 for $2.99 and
Okay.
put it in your Xbox One and play the full game. PS Now, you have to pay $45 for 3 months to play your PS3 games. It's the stupidest
But you get
system on earth.
more than just the one. You don't have to
Well,
get
yeah,
just
it's
the one.
bundled all together, but you could buy $45 worth of games at
Okay, but-
GameStop and be able to play them forever and not over a cloud
So if you
streaming
apply the
service.
same logic to what you just said about the Rare thing, and you're like, oh, I got to pay the $15 a month, what's the difference? It's
No,
the same
you don't
strategy.
have to pay anything for... No, because you buy it
You have
once
to get
and
the
you own
line,
it
though,
forever.
don't you?
No. Rare Replay is a disc. You just buy it, and you put it in, and you play it. Just like you would anything. That's the thing, that's the difference, is that I have my old Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on 360 copy, presuming it's going to be backwards compatible. When and if I get an Xbox One, I can put that disc in and just be able to play Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on my Xbox One.
Well, you go ahead and have fun with that.
It's
I'm
gonna
sure
be real
some of you
exciting.
will, but
no,
I won't.
but I don't know if we're going to mention it, but Rare Replay and Rare's other new game, Sea of Thieves.
That looks cool.
Depending
That
on
does
how
look
that
really
turns
cool.
out, that's like my number one most anticipated Xbox One game. Like, whenever that's out is when I'll basically get an
Well,
Xbox
when Brad
One.
buys the Xbox One, we'll let him
I
do
can
all the
contribute.
Xbox talking.
Right,
Yeah.
I don't hate Microsoft.
Then you can contribute.
Then I can talk. No, but I just want to say that Microsoft really, they pulled out a great show. Good lord.
They
That was like
absolutely did.
in ways, it was better than Sony's, but I don't know. In ways.
In ways.
Well, we'll
Not
talk about all the
overall.
ways it's not. But,
I was about to say, are we wrapping already on?
well,
on
the only
Microsoft?
other thing we didn't talk about was Halo 5 Guardians, and we have to because it's Microsoft. We have to talk about Halo. Any other final thoughts, and then we'll move on.
That's the one thing that just kind of kills me about switching over. It's just I'm such a diehard Halo fan, and just leaving that franchise, even if it's only for a brief time, is like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? I want Halo 5 so bad.
I do like that
But-
it's kind of a greatest hits of the whole series.
Yeah.
Like, you have the ODST guy who's on this team of 4.
Which was a very great game.
Which is an underrated little game. It's a fun little game. Which I think is now $5 on Xbox One. You
sure
can get
it
ODST, which is kind of cool. And then Master Chief, and then there's this other team of 4 people, and you're looking for Master Chief, and then there's, like, I don't know. It looks okay, but Bungie to me was Halo. So even Halo 4 I never cared about.
Right.
But, I don't know. Halo 5 looks better than Halo 4 ever did.
See,
Not just
I
graphically, but, like,
loved Halo 4,
game-wise.
but
Well, we will have to wait and see.
Halo 4 is a weird one because apparently a lot of the guys that worked on Metroid Prime worked
Yeah.
on Halo 4.
Exactly.
So it has like a weird Metroid influence.
it does. It totally
I'm
does.
sure it has a great campaign, but from what I've heard, the
more on
multiplayer
Metroid
is-
later.
Yeah. God. But yeah,
So there's all the things about Microsoft. Yay.
Brad's gonna buy one. That's the big announcement.
No one cares. So then we're going to go ahead and talk
When and if Sea of Thieves
Hey,
comes
what
out.
you decide to do with your monies is your business.
Yes.
All right.
Well, the
so,
good thing is now you can trade in your 360 for one. So I don't need. I have a 360. I don't need it
Oh, well,
anymore.
okay. I mean,
it would be upgrading the box.
saving a little bit of money is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So let's talk. The next conference was Electronic Arts. We touched a little bit on EA. So what about Star Wars Battlefront? We got some gameplay footage. We posted it
yes.
on Facebook, GamerFeedRadio.com. I mean, we had a lot of information. It's been out there perpetually for weeks and weeks and weeks.
That
Discuss.
is going to be a good couple weeks.
Yeah. Honestly, once that hits, it's like cruise control until Force Awakens comes out.
Oh my
There's like a
God.
solid month
I
where
feel
it's
like
going to be Battlefront,
Kyle,
DLC.
we need a hand check, buddy.
They're right here, Nick.
That is one of the few games this fall.
I don't need my
I'm
hands.
No, stop it. Oh my
Wow.
God.
But yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
pumped.
That's okay.
It looks completely brilliant.
Yeah, everybody's really raving about it.
Unbelievably good.
The game,
It almost looks too good. Like
yeah.
that's my only qualm is, all right, there's got to be something wrong.
I feel like it's getting close to Destiny hype.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it going to disappoint? There's going to be gamers that are going to have expectations from previous iterations, and then it's not going to meet their expectation, be mad.
Some people are even saying that that's not the actual gameplay footage. Like,
I've heard mixed things. One is that it looks so good that there's no way it could live up to that, just like Watch Dogs did when they first announced
Right.
that, and Division, numerous other games.
otherworldly proportions.
Yeah.
Just absolutely.
But literally, if they make it, 60 frames per second and make it work online, then day one for me. I don't care. It could be 5 maps, whatever. Like, it's more
Sure.
than 5 maps. It's
5
planets.
maps.
That would
It's
be
five
$70,
planets.
5 maps go. That's
literally,
right.
if it works
That
and
would
it
be
looks
pretty
good
abysmal.
at 60 frames, then I'm buying it day
yeah,
one.
and I mean,
Go.
even if it's half the game that it looks, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I think it's going to have a huge... I mean, look at Star Wars. It doesn't take much, right? But
Well,
that alone is going to
yeah,
sell
but when
units.
here's the thing about Star Wars: when they do hit it out of the park, it's hitting the Death Star.
Yeah.
It's going to blow like it's. I know. I'm sorry,
That was okay.
dude. Like, I mean, when you think of games like Coder and
Could you say that one more time for me?
KOTOR.
Okay, thank
Coder.
you. Just making sure you said it right.
Wasn't he on Dukes of Hazzard?
Coder. Nice.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Sorry, I didn't
Oh,
mean-
wow. That would be a great sound effect. So would having a guy just going, because we do it so often. It's just like, okay. Speaking of Star Wars The Old Republic, right? That was also talked about. Thoughts,
yeah.
jokes, concerns? Meh? Kind of over it?
I stopped playing a long
Never
time ago.
touched it. I never will.
It was good.
You guys.
They said, "Hey, do you want to pay more to unlock the full game?" I'm like, no, I don't.
I was hoping that it would be an announcement for PS4 and Xbox One, like a console version that's free to play. That'd been awesome, but it was not that. So.
Right.
It was nuts.
Well, we got the traditional staples, Madden and other, stuff like that.
Oh God, what, they had Pele up there?
I don't even want to talk
That's so
about
weird. Like, it's cool that you got the greatest soccer player of all time, but like, is this
It's
the
a little
time and
late.
place? Like, dude, it sounded like Iwata up there struggling to get out sentences.
We'll talk about that later.
man.
yeah.
It was just a very slow part of the show, and it was just kind of like, this is cool,
Right.
but
So
I don't know.
So what about Mirror's Edge Catalyst? Right, we
Freaking
saw that.
can't
I can't wait.
That's right up there with Battlefront, and they're made by DICE. But gosh, that looks unbelievable.
Yeah,
I love
I-
the first one. Absolutely.
I never
love
played
it.
the first one, but I was always intrigued by it, and now I probably have a shot to play it, and I'm excited.
I love that game so much. I had it on 360, and when I sold my 360, I literally went out and bought it for PS3 because I liked it so much. So I bought that game twice. That's how much I
That's how much you like it. All right.
And I have the iPhone game. I have the iPad version. I got everything. I love me some Mirror's Edge.
Excellent. So before I jump into the next press conference, which is
Are we?
The big one.
what? What,
Are we done with EA already?
what did I miss? What did I miss?
Well, I wanted to talk about Mass Effect.
Oh, I totally forgot about
the,
Mass
the
Effect.
opener.
I think that's kind of.
I thought that's what he was going to talk about.
I totally. Well, I do tend to save the best for last. So
Andrew.
you're. I just got flipping the bird, kid. So yes, talk about it. Go.
I am so excited for.
Oh, me too.
It's nice that because they've been saying for the longest time they didn't want to make it Mass Effect 4. Now it's actually Mass Effect Andromeda.
Sure.
They've been with the focus group that leak that happened a few months ago. We kind of got all the details of the game, things that were going to happen. Different galaxy this time around. Different crew. You don't have Shepard.
of
but
course.
a lot of the same. Everything else is basically the same. Everything from the ship perspective, going out on missions, going out on side missions, collecting resources, gaining.
Program of aliens. And
Yeah, you got the Mako back. I'm really excited about all of that. I really want to play another one, especially since I just got like a taste of BioWare with Dragon Age. So I'm really excited to see what they do next. The only thing that I'm kind of looking for on this one is I kind of need to know who the big bad is, because for me such a big part of the first 3 games was the constant threat of the Reavers.
Right.
The kind of, especially in the third one when it's full out war, it's just always lurking.
Well, I remember I actually just played through Mass Effect 2 recently. I remember, the end of the game where the freaking Reaper swarm is just closing in on the galaxy. You're like, oh god,
Yeah.
we are gonna die.
But I kind of feel like I need to know what the big bad is here. Not that it's
Yeah.
just they're just out tooling around a new galaxy. I kind of need to know what the threat is.
Well,
but I'm still incredibly hyped for it.
At the same time, though, you didn't really know what the threat was till the end of Mass Effect 1. I mean, you thought it was Saren the bad guy, and then you kind of learned about the Reapers slowly but surely. So, I mean, I'm sure BioWare, the smart guys, they made one of the best storytelling gaming experiences in the first 3 Mass Effects. I think they'll do just fine. And it's good that they're starting from fresh, because obviously you can't take your Mass Effect 3 game over to Mass Effect, what's it called? Andromeda. Yeah. And, but I hope the next one continues that trend where you can play the first game and then the next game, all that stuff carries over.
Yeah.
Because that's, to me, that when I first realized that blew my mind. Like, I was just like, oh, this is so cool. But, yeah, I'm excited for Mass Effect. I cannot wait. Like,
yeah,
as long as it's like Mass Effect 1, because I didn't like the sequels at all.
You're so dumb, Brad.
They turned it into Gears of War. They literally just turned it into a bad Gears of War. And the first one was like an RPG. The sequels were literally just like shooting games. They were just like third-person shooting games. I was like, they're okay, but
I'm gonna kill them.
The story got worse. The gameplay got worse. The graphics got better. The graphics got better.
No, it didn't. What's wrong with you?
It's up to opinion.
That's my opinion.
You're crazy.
Mass Effect 1 was the only good Mass Effect. That's my opinion.
Mass Effect 1, first of all, the game loading thing was very unforgiving.
The elevators. Yeah, that was awful. Like, the loading in Mass Effect 1 was like terrible. And the game ran horribly on the 360. But it's a good game design.
Hey, Brad's going to prove my point for me. I'm just going to let you keep talking.
So, well, I mean, look, so we know that games tend to get better over time, but I think it's all about personal tastes and choices. Yeah. Did you have anything else to offer, Rob?
I'm done on Mass Effect. Everybody else is.
Okay, is there anything else?
One other thing I did say that kind of I thought was interesting and
just popped in there, Ray. What? Movie reference. Go ahead.
One other thing that I thought was interesting that I totally didn't see coming was Need for Speed.
Oh yeah, I had.
I've never played one before. Not seriously. I had one on my iPhone. I played for a little while when I first got an iPhone, just for the motion control, the tilt steering, which I thought was really cool to do. But I'm kind of interested in this next one. I like the idea of open world racing, and you go anywhere, you tweak out your ride however you want it to.
You drive across the country in 8 hours, I'm told.
Yeah, I mean that sounds really cool to me. It's a different enough spin on a racing title; it might get me in.
Okay,
so
I love Need for Speed.
Yeah,
they're fun games.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be
sweet trailers.
It had me sold until the stupid live action scene where you think you can be the best, and it's just like this dumb actors.
Could you say it for me again?
You think you can.
I will say
the coolest thing about the whole presentation of Need for Speed was you see these horribly cheesy live actors, and then seamlessly transitions into your gameplay, like your car. You're tweaking it out. That was like one of those surreal moments where it's like literal photorealism, where they have live actors and then it pulls out to video game and you cannot tell the difference.
I'm really glad that you enjoyed that.
Except, I don't know.
Except the cheesy acting.
They tried a story-driven Need for Speed once, and it was just like the dumbest game ever. It was called Need for Speed The Run or something like that. It was really stupid.
What?
The Runs, yeah.
That'll be later.
But Most Wanted and
there
Underground...
There goes that tone again.
Most Wanted and Underground are great games, and hopefully this one's good. I mean, I'm rooting for it. I don't want it to be bad, but...
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you want things to be bad so you can will your rightness on people.
No!
You want to will your rightness on people.
I put my $60 on for...
Will your rightness. I love that.
Right?
I'm writing that down somewhere.
I'm paying money for something. I'm hoping for the best. You'd want, hypothetically, every game to be the best game ever made, but it's not going to be that way.
Good. So before we jump over to Ubisoft, I just wanted to take a quick, brief programming note. You too can check out the all-new GamerFeedRadio.com. All the press conferences, all the news, everything you need to know is there. You need to be checking it out. You can also link to our shows from there. Everything's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. iHeartRadio is... Everyone's listening to us on iHeartRadio, so why the heck aren't you? I'm just saying. And all the things on Twitter at GamerFeed
Mid-show plug.
I was about to say, we're like beyond now. We got this mid-show station thing.
I want to make sure that the people who really got through this torture of 30 minutes and then went, I'm out, peace, because they're done with Brad.
Wait. Quick shout-out to Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, because I like the first one, and that one looks fun.
I love that you can play zombies this time.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Well, that's the new in, is playing the bad guy. I wish I could play as Ganon.
You can play as, what do you mean?
Which, we're not talking about Nintendo yet. I've always wanted a Team Rocket perspective of Pokemon.
Oh my god. That's right. Your dream could come true after they get sold off to wherever they go 10 years from now. Okay.
Alright, we're good.
Ubisoft. So they had all kinds of fun things. Ghost Recon. Wildlands, thoughts, jokes, concerns?
Before we hold on, can we give a quick mention of how Ubisoft consistently has the worst press conferences, not in their content, but just in their delivery, in their... Poor Aisha Tyler, God love her, she's a funny woman, just thrown out there, totally, it's so awkward, and they're trying to make these jokes, and she's trying to be potty mouth, and it's just like, God, it's so bad.
Stop talking.
Somebody give that poor girl a talk show so she can claim to be busy next year.
She's the host of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Is she doing that now?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's CW.
She's Drew Carey now.
Somebody she's funny, but these conferences are bad. I don't think it's her fault.
Dude, in her defense, she brought us Lana Kane, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right. She's Archer.
I
Yeah.
love Lana Kane. Best character on Archer.
Still
And Aisha, on the off chance you're listening to this, I think you're smoking hot. I love you.
No, dude, that's the thing. She's extremely attractive. She's very funny when she's like has the right script, I guess. But this is just.
Well, she's a stand-up too.
Yeah, she's a funny person.
It's just, I'm sure she
like her a
wrote
lot.
those jokes
Right,
like months in advance.
And then it comes across just so like stilted and like
Well, wow.
And everyone
I really
at
want that
Ubisoft
sound
is
recorded
like
to Aki Hoo-Ha.
it's like everyone's French for
like
that
Finding
company,
Nemo?
so
You know what?
Finding Nemo.
I think this kind of tells us we should probably just move on.
Yeah, so speaking of Ghost Recon, thoughts, jokes, anything?
It looked good.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, because there was that, then there was Rainbow Six Siege.
I just hate how every year they do a big open world game, and I'm kind of done with open world games. I don't want to invest 60 hours in a game anymore.
So now we're going to talk about my favorite game that was announced. I'm totally kidding. Assassin's Creed.
Don't care.
Why you gotta hate?
Syndicate.
Do not.
Rob, I know you have all things to say about Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah.
So we'll just pass the ball to you and take it away.
Well, it doesn't look like they're breaking a whole lot of ground this year, for better or for worse. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed, definitely.
Don't they have a female now?
They do. So I mean
right.
that isn't necessarily making up new ground. That's making up for gaffes they made last year. So
Okay, fair.
You can play as a
but
female in a
just-
couple of them, right? At least the PSP game.
Aveline's the only one so far.
The Vita, not PSP.
But, it looks very much like what came before. The one thing they have shown so far that looks different from anything they've done, I mean, they've got the rope launcher, which is basically Batman from the Arkham games. Okay, cool. I can see where that would be useful in scaling buildings and such. But I do like the idea of recruiting gangs, basically. Like they showed in the first trailer in the... I think it was in the Sony in one of the conferences.
Sony, they actually showed the gameplay, right?
Yeah, in one of the conferences they showed from his perspective, and the other one they showed from her perspective. I think it was the Ubi one where they showed from Jacob Fry, I think his name is. But basically, he walks into this bar, he beats up everybody, and he collects them basically into his gang. I'm curious to see how that works from a gameplay perspective of recruiting people. But that's something new that has my interest. But aside from that, there isn't a whole lot new shown so far.
Yeah.
It will be interesting. Any thoughts on The Division? Tom Clancy's The Division? Because that was up there too with Ghost
It's
Recon
just the
and all
same
that.
deal with Watch Dogs, where it was their big closer game 2 years ago. That game's been announced for 2 calendar years now.
Yep.
No, 3 calendar years if you count. It was 2013. And it just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't do it for me. It's like Destiny, where it's like interconnected, friends, social, experiment, online,
I'm gonna
massive.
hate you
It's like all these
after the show.
buzzwords. It just doesn't look fun.
Or we all
It's
got
just
a moment where just tell Brad to shut up.
Yeah.
it doesn't look fun. It does
Okay.
not look like a fun
So
game.
I know you and Kyle talked about this a little bit earlier. I was eavesdropping. You were talking about South Park, the fractured butthole.
Oh, the fractured
yes,
butthole.
the fractured butthole.
Go.
The only good part of Ubisoft's whole presser ups was Trey and Matt up there.
Oh, my
They
God.
saved the whole thing.
I bet
And it was
they
at like the
did.
very beginning.
That's because they're geniuses. Anyway, no.
They're saying these effing mics sucked.
Oh.
Did you see that? It was hilarious.
Yes.
Were they, I thought it was fun. I wish I could. Yeah.
I mean, if it weren't for Smash Bros. Last year, I would have made Sticker Shooters my game of the year. Really excited. I love that they're going to go with the superhero route. Do like their little.
It's a perfect
do
parody
their
of.
do their like Justice League spinoff. Where it's like Coon and Friends.
Oh my god.
So bad.
It's so bad.
Good. So, so are you looking? I mean, are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I need to play the first one first.
Brad needs to play the first one. You all need to play the first one. It's
I'm
awesome.
sure I'd like it. It's just
I'm sure I would like it too
things.
because I always need more comedy in my day. I don't need it when I'm friends with you guys.
I know.
I know.
We love you too.
Warm and fuzzies. Anything else about Ubisoft? Did I miss anything? Go.
Can we talk about For Honor?
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Get it.
That was surprising.
4v4 medieval combat. You can be a knight, you can be a samurai, you can be a Viking.
Oh,
How does that not sound awesome?
And the graphics look good, assuming it looks that good when it comes out. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of big Dynasty Warriors and stuff. As bad rap as it gets, I do like those games from time to time. Just big combat. Field
hack and
action.
slash.
Yeah,
but it's a different spin on it, though, because it's not just go out and just mow everything down with some overpowered attack. It's a little bit more
it's
realistic.
Like Titanfall.
Realistic, finger quotes.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more strategic, too. It's a little bit more like... it sounds like it's almost like... I don't really have a good... comparison, except for something like Infinity Blade, where you kind of have to react to the other, the other one, choose the right stance and do, so you're kind of reacting almost not quite Punch Out but it's not just hack and slash,
right?
But it still kind of has that big battlefield feel where you're in the middle of a big battle, and you've got all these bots around you, just to make it feel bigger and more epic.
That's the way Titanfall was. Is you had grunts that filled out. It was 8-on-8 or something like that. It might have been lower, 6-on-6 in Titanfall. And then you had all these grunts that filled the rest of the field, and you got points for killing the grunts because they're so easy to kill. But you also got more points for killing other human players. And that's the way this one looks. They showed them kind of killing all the grunts, and then when the two human players fought, it was like you said, Infinity Blade, where there's a way more defending and angle and a lot of
just like that.
Graphics look phenomenal.
Yeah. Hoping it looks that good, but Ubisoft's track record not the best when it comes to that. But
well, we tend to hate on both EA and Ubisoft in this show pretty regularly, so I will reserve judgment.
But they bring it on
until
themselves, so
it's true. But I'll reserve judgment ultimately until we see the final.
Sure,
And that one sounded like it was sooner than later. They said a beta was coming soon, and everything has a freaking beta now, which is a dumb theme.
But and we were talking about Halo 5 before. Again. They have been very upfront this time, saying we will have a beta. We learned from Halo 4 that not having a beta is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So not necessarily a bad thing for everybody to have a beta.
I guess it's just what really bugs me is the pre-order for beta access. Give us your money first, and then you can test the game that isn't finished to see if it's good when it actually.
Well,
comes out.
unfortunately for all of us, it's working.
Yeah.
I should say, not Halo 4, Master Chief Collection.
Master Chief.
We know what you meant.
If I could throw in one more thing.
Of course you can.
Just Dance 2016.
I did, yeah.
They announced a Wii U game on stage.
The fact that you can use your smartphone, yet another nail in the coffin of Kinect. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard that in the distance. Moving on to Sony. The end of this particular day. There's lots to talk about here.
Oh, God.
And time is quickly ticking past us. So if everyone's cool with the marathon round, but with
lightning round,
us talking,
opposite of marathon.
Let's talk about Uncharted 4.
Looks awesome.
So sexy.
I mean,
sorry.
That's okay. I'll allow it. No, I don't even know if we can Pika. I might allow it.
42. About 42.50.
That was. Uncharted. I don't know. Am I the only one at this table that's played all 3 Uncharted games?
No, I haven't played any, and I'm still stoked for it.
You got to get the trilogy then.
I'm
going to do that.
Uncharted 2 in particular, I've said ad nauseum, but is one of the greatest action games ever. That game in particular. 1 and 3 are awesome, but 2 is just
that chase scene
so
looked so much fun.
Yes,
and we were talking about this because we watched it live, me and Kyle. Just how big the environment was. You get in the car, it looked endless,
and you're taking all these. You're taking all these alternate paths, reacting to where the truck is going, and all that.
Although, kind of hilarious, they had to start over.
The poor frozen Nathan Drake at the beginning. I think that was the first big technical hiccup of the whole E3 expo up to that point. Last year there were so many. Of course,
it's one of the biggest releases.
I know, dude. That they were feeling we're killing it with all these announcements. Here's our big closer, and then you see that only on PlayStation up there for 20 seconds.
Someone's getting dragged down the hallway in a garbage bag.
Beaten.
That's what I always say about the Olympic the living opening ceremony where one of the rings didn't expand.
Oh god, yeah.
It's like some Russians being dragged down a hallway.
Putin's wrath.
About to have a slow, painful death.
At least you knew that it was being played live. That was
absolutely.
That was good, but
Okay, so we already talked about Star Wars Battlefront, right? When we talked about
yeah, still looked awesome.
Still looks awesome.
Still 20 minutes
awesome.
later, still pretty good. Still looking pretty good, guys.
So what about Disney Infinity 3.0?
Of all things, you go to Disney Infinity 3.0.
But it's got all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Couldn't care less.
I mean, it's a good get for them to get Boba Fett as an exclusive.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that
true.
was somebody was thinking there. They're like, yeah, we want Boba Fett. Oh, okay, sure. So
I accept your terms.
yes,
Okay, so that'll be good for the kiddies. What about Call of Duty Black Ops Trey?
Don't care at all. I do think it's interesting that Microsoft's exclusivity DLC deal ran up, so that Sony jumped on that. But
that's pretty big. I think.
Also,
it just doesn't appeal to me at all.
Also interesting that's another future game.
Yeah, they're at this point they're. You know, you can't tell the difference between Advanced Warfare, Black Ops, Ghosts.
Right.
It's like they're all the same.
It's just more of the same game, make more money.
Yeah, and I've said that before too. That it's basically Advanced Warfare 2, but it looks really good.
It is
I like
not
that.
Advanced Wars. Take that back.
Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Advanced.
I
Shush.
know.
Silencio!
But I like that you basically choose a character that has a different loadout, that has different special abilities and all of that, and it kind of changes the gameplay
Right.
Accordingly because you got loadouts are character based rather than just you pick it. I
Right.
think
Brad
it's
is looking at me quizzically, and that was the Spanish version of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney saying silence.
Oh.
I just said silencio. Anyway, for those who really needed an explanation. All right, they did some announcing with PlayStation View. Does anybody here care?
Nope.
I mean, it's like it's not even
Oh, it's
available in
Beethoven
like 5
Silencio.
places or whatever.
I think it's significant that they're going to be one of the first big players to do a la carte programming.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of cool.
That's
So-
true.
My phone just died.
Pick your.
I mean,
Pick your-
I'm probably not going to get it, but I think it's a big thing for them that you can choose what you want.
You have to wonder what
cable
kind of
cutters.
fees they're
Cable
paying
or
on the
something.
back end for that.
I'm sure they're paying a lot for it. I mean, just to get it, period, because we heard about how much, without going too much off topic, we heard about the battle that Apple was having with having
Right.
local channels.
Oh yeah.
And the affiliates and all that fun stuff on their stuff. So the fact that PlayStation appears to have that sorted out, and they're able to get things a la carte, I think is pretty big.
Dude, I still can't believe that company is afloat. Like, PlayStation is the one thing keeping Sony going.
It is.
Like, I cannot imagine them lasting. Like, as much as people like to joke about Nintendo going under, I could see Sony going under much faster. The only thing, they just have to sell off PlayStation, but...
I was going to say, they would jettison all their other businesses.
But
and
their
then-
movie business is terrible. This TV thing, it sounds good to consumers, but I don't know who's going to buy it. That's got to be tons of money that they're literally just wasting, and I feel bad for them. But
So what about Shenmue 3? That got a lot of
Shenmue
buzz because of
3
the crowdfunding thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody was talking about it because
yeah.
they put it up there.
Yeah.
People want the
He
game.
had that one guy in the crowd who was just like freaking out. It was also right after another announcement we'll get to, I'm sure.
Right, in a minute.
I felt that was a little bit weird. One, why does this need to be crowdfunded? Really? Because Sony is invested in this. Sony is helping make this. Why do you need to put it on Kickstarter to get money out of it?
Because nobody really wants to do it.
I mean, unless you're really, but it's like I read an article on this the other day. Basically, they're asking for like $2 million. Of course, they're getting tons more than that because they hit their goal within like 10 hours.
Right.
But they're asking for $2 million. The last one cost like 45. So there's a big shortfall that's getting made up through other means or through Sony or whatever.
Interesting.
Right.
what's weird is there is a trend. Like, I know, I was just thinking of movies. Like, The Babadook is one of my favorite movies of the past couple of years, and that movie was like partially crowdfunded. So there is a precedent to like investors. Like,
I like it when you say funny things.
It's not funny. I mean,
The
it's
way
true.
it's
There's no
funny.
way that money, $2 million, is going to pay for all of Shenmue 3. Of course
Right.
not.
No,
But
absolutely not.
it's just a weird trend that part of it, like, there's an obvious demand for it. Maybe it's obvious to us on the streets, but to the big wig corporate investor people, they don't see it. But I don't know. It's just a weird trend that things are getting partially crowdfunded. You know, I don't know. It's just like another piece in this puzzle of money investment. That
Just smells weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's completely weird.
Yeah.
So what
I feel
about
bad for the freaking guy, whatever his name is,
And-
on stage, basically having to like beg people for money. It's like,
Yeah.
this is pathetic.
And what was
you
the
do the
power
water
guy?
voice? You'll give me money.
What was the countdown for?
That was
Was
to
like, were
launch
they
the
activating?
website. Yeah,
Really? Come on.
Yeah. We're on stage. I wonder how much the press conference costs. Probably more than $2 million.
We started it live right here just for you.
That was pathetic.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy, but the game should be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Shenmue games are well regarded. I've never played one.
I never played one either, but it was always a game I was interested in playing. I just never had Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Right.
They did announce that they're doing recaps of 1 and 2 in 3. That was one of the stretch goals, was cinematic recaps of the first 2 games.
Because everybody needs a little bit more cinematic recap.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Mass Effect 3 if you didn't
or
play
they could
the
just
first 2 or
re-release
whatever.
the games.
Yeah.
Well, but that would... Okay,
Or
so...
you can pirate them. What?
Batman Arkham Knight.
I loved watching Joker burn.
That was a really cool trailer. I mean,
It's
I'm
just
not.
like huge spoilers too. Like I've never played the Batman games.
Oh,
so
shit.
You didn't know he died?
No, I know he died. I don't care about the Batman games, especially. I'm not that I wouldn't like them. It's just I
Again,
never played
Brad,
them.
you're really dumb.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying I would never pay for them necessarily.
Right.
But I thought that was a really cool, really dark trailer.
Oh, I know.
Because the guy goes in there and he gets
Starts
hit with
killing,
the scarecrow venom, and then he goes on a rampage, basically
Right.
killing everybody in the diner.
Right. Well, that's implied.
Well, yeah, because they don't actually show. But still, I mean, that's like.
But I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
But I mean, that's why it's rated M.
Yeah.
For all
well,
the adults in the room, excluding Brad.
But
yeah, I'm excited. I have it pre-ordered.
Yeah,
It'll be
I
here
do
next
too.
week.
next
I
week.
do
So
too.
that's just
Yep.
a weird thing to spend a lot of time on at E3.
Yeah, I thought
'cause
that
it comes
too.
out so soon.
Yeah.
well, they didn't spend that much time on it.
Yeah, not
they just had
especially.
The trailer was pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they also talked about, Firewatch, which is kind of, I don't know if I get it. I don't know if I get it at all.
That game
I feel
looked
like I
way
don't-
cooler before they did the stupid voice actors.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be jokey, hee hee hee.
Oh my god.
And then at the end, it's like, wait, then who's in your tower? And then you turn. I wasn't digging it.
So who's in your tower, Brad?
in your
Anyway,
tower?
that could
Yeah,
be so
okay,
many
let's
shades of
move on.
wrong. No Man's Sky.
Still kind of confused, but it looked good.
It looks good, but like, oh my god, so much nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still excited for it. I feel like I say this every time that I've said this every time now that I don't know what it's about, what you do.
Yeah,
Now I
exactly.
feel like you do, but I understand what it's about, but I haven't learned anything new. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
It's like, okay, it is about exploration. It is about gathering resources and upgrading things and all
Sure,
that. But
sure.
basically, it's trying to get to the center of the galaxy. Okay, cool.
yeah.
That's all I needed. Thanks.
And it just seemed like
Just
Metroid
tell me what the
Prime-
point is. All right.
Yeah.
What was so hard about that?
Like, oh, okay, that's it. It's just one sentence. Okay, got it.
I don't know. That was perfect.
But like Metroid Prime
Well said, Rob.
and
Well
Mass
said.
Effect with the whole filling out the codex and scanning for things. That's
Yeah.
basically the whole game.
But
it seems
I like the idea that if you find a planet for the first time, you scan it, you upload it, you can name it whatever you want, and I'm sure that's going to get abused.
Yeah, we'll talk about that with the Miiverse stage in Smash Brothers. We talk about Nintendo.
Yeah. But I mean, I love that you can put your stamp on something. If it's if it's G rated or PG rated and doesn't get wiped out by the mods or whatever. But I mean, I can have my own planet out there somewhere. That's pretty cool.
We can have a GamerFeed.
No one's ever going to
planet,
see it
you
because the
guys.
galaxy's so big.
Oh,
but
my
Like they named
God.
the E3 planet. That was kind of cool.
Magoo. Okay, so what about Destiny, the Taken King?
excited.
I can't tell you how excited I am about it.
You already have, but I
I
understand.
did tell
Go
you.
ahead and do it again.
So, as someone that we have famously
I'll
made
just sit this one
clear,
out.
Yeah.
right? Like, what's the big deal with this one compared to the other 2 expansions? Is there anything?
So the bigger difference is that, first of all, you have additional subclasses for all the different things, which is
'cause
great.
There's 2 now, right?
Right, so
Is
new,
there a third?
the new
the third, the
yeah.
extra element, the one that your class is already missing.
right, which is great.
So your Titan would get this solar hammer basically that turns him into Thor.
I get it.
Right, and then you have the hunter is like a arc bow.
Yeah, I saw the bow one.
And
Yeah.
then the warlock is
Palpatine.
Emperor Palpatine on a Segway. Unlimited power! Okay, I had to do it. I had to do it. Do it.
Nice.
I will. Good.
Yeah.
But basically, they're refocusing on story this time around, which people
Yes.
have. But from the impression pieces, people actually see already. They've played through the first story mission. There's a lot. It's a lot more story centric.
Yep.
There's a raid this time around, which the last expansion
true.
did not have. There are at least 2 planets, is what we're hearing. One of which is the moon Phobos. Around Mars, which is where you start off. It's kind of your first area is going to be. There's going to be a little bit of dealing with the Cabal.
Yep, a little bit.
From the story perspective, which is good since they haven't.
Transmutate into the Taken. Anyway,
Yes.
Oh, I saw that in the trailer. Right?
I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be neat to see what the mechanic is going to be. But that plus the extra story missions. There's going to be an actual patrol on Oryx's ship, the isn't it called the Dreadnought?
The Dreadnought, yeah.
Like that's going to be kind of neat. That you're going to actually do patrol missions right in enemy territory. Like I'm really excited to see what they do with it. If it's as expansive as they're making it sound, it's going to be. First of all, it's worth the $40. Compared to the considering it's not Destiny 2 quote 2. Although they're not calling it that, they're saying, well, we're getting close to the beginning of year 2 of Destiny, and so
that's what they're going by.
They're going by like this year cycle. But all the gamers that have played it, all the reviews, all the outlets are like, dude, I got my hands on it, and I was kind of down on, Dark Below was terrible, House of Wolves was better. This is going to blow your mind. So maybe we were just all starved for something amazing, but it sounds like it's coming, so that'll be good.
That's cool. And the developers are even saying...
in the first place.
Yeah.
The developers are even saying, look, there's a lot of stuff we're telling you about this week, but there's so much more that I'm not allowed to tell you about yet.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of content that they're,
I already pre-ordered it, so
not
I'm
even...
I'm ready.
That's cool.
You can come raid with me, Brad. Come on, bro, let's go
We'll
raid.
see. I gotta stick to my guns here. No DLC. I'm just kidding.
Whatever. You already blew
is
that
wrong
up
with you?
last podcast. All right. The next one was Street Fighter V exclusivity.
I can't wait. I love Street Fighter.
Yeah, so we knew it was exclusive to PS4. They announced Birdie and Cammy as characters.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it just looks like more Street Fighter.
It's gonna be
4.
Street Fighter, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We love Street Fighter.
Does anybody care about Hitman?
I do.
Yeah, we both.
I think
Kyle
it's
were really
sweet.
positive on that. We're like, this looks really good.
Yeah, dude.
I only ever played the
I know
first
we're getting into
one.
them more, but Square is not screwing around anymore.
Yeah.
They
We'll
are.
talk about them in just a minute.
They kind of can't afford to.
Yeah, they really can.
Well, actually, it's funny because now they actually can't afford to put on a press conference because they got money.
Well, all right.
right.
But anyway.
we have a dollar.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So, okay. The Last Guardian. It's real!
Oh my god.
If you want to hear me wax
collectively
poetically,
moan together again.
yeah, we should all the time.
Never again.
Me and Brad watched that, and we were literally just like in silence.
Yeah, we-
just like.
God. I think some people are down on it online. I could not get it because, I think it looks perfect. It looks exactly like what I
beautiful.
want. Yeah.
I've never everything, just the surroundings, the art style, the. Oh,
Can you do that again? That was like Japanese samurai. You're like,
so good.
No, but if you're a GamerFeed listener, you can listen to me on the DLC PlayStation where I go into more depth about this game in my past. But I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
It solidifies the PS4 purchase even more.
It looks so good. I mean,
even though you're going to get an Xbox, but whatever. Whatever, don't talk.
And plus, you got their track record. They made They made Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah,
and that's one of the greatest
it's
games
going to be
ever.
Good. Yeah. I'm just glad that it's actually a for really, really, really real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not dead, but it is. But
The
it's
game's
not.
been in development for 8 years.
That game has seriously had more in and outs than Ross Perot.
Oh, stop.
Just saying.
The Chinese democracy.
Clinton,
The Chinese democracy of games. Except hopefully it'll turn out way better than Chinese
That was
democracy.
a toilet
gotta
flushing
get in
sound in
there.
the background, Brad. Wow.
And the
Bring
economy's
humor.
like a car. You just got to get in there and tinker around with it. And that's my Ross Perot impression.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was like a 10
All
out
right.
of 10.
Okay, so Last Guardian, we're all excited. We
Freaking
all agree.
unbelievable.
I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And now,
Oh my god.
I wish we had a drum roll, but I don't know if we can make it happen. Oh, we can do it here. And the things, Kyle's going to start weeping. Uh-oh, are we really loud?
Yes.
I'm just keeping an eye on it.
Okay. A level check, please. The big announcement, the mic drop, which we posted on
The mic dropped
Our
like a
Facebook
third of the way
page.
into the conference.
Yeah.
the remake of Final Fantasy VII.
You know, let me just start here. Final Fantasy VII isn't even my favorite Final Fantasy. It's far from my favorite Final Fantasy. I like 6 better. I like 9 better. I like 10 better.
Oh, wow, you're... 9 was... Rob and I are on the same page with that. 9 was
9's my favorite game of all time.
Oh, okay. We can be friends still. Congratulations.
Wasn't this like the day you guys met? You talked about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
We did. Kindred spirits.
Yeah. But just, like,
Thunder boomies.
yeah.
If
It's
we all
appropriate.
get zapped to death, I blame Final Fantasy VII.
I'm more worried for the podcast than I am for us. I'm worried about the
You guys
power.
can die.
I'm worried about the power going out and us losing all of
yeah,
this.
that'll suck. But, oh my god, just...
Maybe we
it
should
was
push the
so-
start button and save it. I mean, can we do the start button sound just in case, or do you
We'll
think
be
we're good?
fine.
We're good?
We should be fine.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Famous
Sorry.
last words.
Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, just... I can't believe that they actually did it.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I saw the leaked article, which... Screw you, Internet.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just... If if it wasn't spoiled, then I literally would have been in tears when they announced it. But since I kind of was tipped off, even though I didn't really believe it, like, it's still just mind blowing. And the soundtrack was there, and the beautiful graphics. And I was talking about it earlier before we started this. It's a great game. It's dated, and now it's not going to be dated.
Yeah, because it's not a flat out port, HD port. They're saying it's actually a remake. They will change things.
Yeah, of course they're going to change things, because you can't just make Final Fantasy VII and slap on good graphics and it'll be a good game. That'd be terrible. But
that said, they will be doing that.
I know
they are doing the straight port too. At least one straight port is my understanding.
Yeah, the one they announced last year.
Yeah, the one they announced last year, which will be out sometime.
But still
this year,
it's still going to have the same graphics and all that stuff. I'm just saying if they took the game at its very roots, made the exact same game, and just threw in HD PS4 graphics, it wouldn't be the same. But this. I don't even know how to say it.
Look, it kind of sounds like what they're doing with Zelda did with the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where it's like some of the stuff that didn't work mechanically is like getting updated finally, like the water temple and like the
nothing
boots
can change the water temple setting.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't mind it as much.
If anyone's upset by that, yeah, you're weird.
The water temple is still better than Mass Effect 2 and 3.
Oh my god!
By a long shot.
Wow. Okay, so we have duct tape. We can.
Yeah, we're gonna silence Brad.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm curious to see what they ultimately do with it graphically. I'm really curious to see what tweaks and changes they're talking about making, because now all the news is coming out that there's going to be add-ons to the story, additional changes to some of the mechanics. Sure. To make it have that fresh, modern feel, where in the past, it doesn't translate well. So I'm really curious to see what they do with it. Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing to see a great historied game so celebrated. I mean, it really changed RPGs forever.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be great to see it back.
The fact that I was just going to say that Sony had not just one of these like megaton announcements, but they had the three most long-awaited games, arguably outside of like Half-Life 3, of Last Guardian, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3. And they had them almost back-to-back.
Yeah.
With a little filler in between was just unbelievable.
Which, yeah, good thing they followed with Call of Duty so I could have some time to like...
good. I could turn off my brain.
I was like, oh my God. But one thing we all have to understand is this isn't going to be out tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah. This is going to be a long...
This is a 2018 game.
Right, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
They're saying 2016, but it's going to be holiday.
Just like Legend of Zelda for Wii U is a 2015.
Oh, my God.
Stop talking.
But I mean, then again, maybe it won't, because you figure they're probably going to be using the engine from 15.
Right.
Which gets them, that's...
halfway there.
Maybe it was just turned out...
And they already have the blueprint.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not nothing. It might not be that long a wait.
If it came out holiday 2016, I would be stoked.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. I can wait that long.
Yeah,
I could definitely.
I've waited this long.
Yeah,
right. 20 years.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for Sony?
They won.
It was good. It was good. All right. So moving on to.
It was overkill.
Nintendo.
Oh God. Okay.
So much to unpack here, because they had the direct beforehand. They had the pre-show stuff. They announced some stuff during the tournament.
So
the World Championship was unbelievably good. I loved it.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
It was cool that they did it.
Yeah.
The fact that they pulled it off.
Games as a spectator sport is something we touch on here and there, but that was something that really solidified it for me. You could hear the crowd cheering for like those big Splatoon kills and all this stuff. That like it's so exciting to watch. And they showed off Mario Maker, which is obviously the best part.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But it was just so fun. Like I was
was
digging the whole thing. I was like, man, if they could do it this well, I wonder what the direct is going to be like.
Well, the entire Nintendo World Championship replay is available on GamerFeedRadio.com in case you want to go back and watch it.
Yeah. Maybe not worth watching all 4.5 hours of it, but at least watch the Mario Maker stuff at the end, because that will sell you on the game quicker than anything else they've put out.
Which may have been the point. Aha!
Yeah.
So in the Nintendo Direct leading up to the actual the digital event, they talked about Smash Brothers.
Yep.
All the amazing things. I bought it all.
Roy,
I bought it all. So you have Ryu, you have Lucas, you have Roy. You brought in.
Well, we all know how much you love Lucas.
Can't even. And the amiibo is coming out, so that's all I really need. And
it's over.
But that's going to be great. I mean, I already downloaded it. I like that they made the announcement and they're like, it's available today. But wait till tomorrow, because there might be some lag. But
well,
you have a lot of it might.
I got in before apparently it started crashing for everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't do it until the next morning, but that was cool. I loved it. I thought it was great, the execution, the way they did it.
Welcome to 2015, Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny that Sunday they really did such a great job with the Smash and the World Championship that like they, other than Bethesda, which had a press conference then, like they really owned the mind share.
Yeah.
They were all great announcements, like stuff that people were digging.
Yeah. And then
you have a Monday to get through, which is, Xbox's huge come from behind with all these crazy announcements like backwards compatibility.
Yep.
All these crazy games.
And then the digital event. Well,
I love the puppets.
The puppets were
god awful. That was
Really?
the dumbest I've ever seen in my life.
But I thought it was
horrible.
Funny.
104.
I had to go for it. It's terrible.
Thought it was funny because actually I thought they had the personalities nailed pretty good.
They did.
Miyamoto comes out and Reggie comes out and they're like, giggly and dancing. And Iwata's all serious and stuff. Sure, he looks around at them like they're a bunch of idiots, and then he starts to dance. I thought that was smart on their part. It tied to their personality. It was cool. That was a giant lightning bolt. We're going to die on air. Look, I mean, I overall I thought it was pretty poor. I mean, just the way they did it, how they had too many interviews with actual people instead of games.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that blows my mind the most about what Nintendo did with the digital event was they managed to announce a new Zelda, a new Metroid, a new Paper Mario, a new Star Fox, and they managed to piss off fans from all of those franchises. Well, that takes skill. It's like they went out of their way to make bad-looking games.
Here is where Nintendo's weakness lies. They are so negligent to their franchises, unless it's Mario.
Well, the thing is, Mario Maker in particular is the one game out of all of those that they're actually making. I don't think they're making a single other game other than Zelda Triforce Trackers or whatever it's called.
Which I'm over.
Which I think looks fine, but
I'm over it.
Who the hell cares about Earthbound 1 if we can get Mother 3?
Yeah.
We want Mother 3.
Right, but look, I mean,
Earthbound 1's a good
it's
step
a
in the
good
right
game,
direction.
but I mean, look, I think
I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, I did too. And we posted that online too. But look, I mean, the moral of the story, though, is that Brad's actually, I can't believe I'm going to agree with you.
That's right.
But that's right, baby.
That's right, baby. I'm better now.
So look, they did take their 4 key franchises, and I think it's good that we're bundling together for the sake of time. But I'm not particularly excited about any of them.
No.
And I think people who looked at it and watched them were kind of like, yay, the logo appeared, and then they showed the game, and everybody's like,
yeah.
Well, they have a Gaiden problem this year. Everything is a side story, basically. It's
everything's
all
a multiplayer
spin-offs.
spin-off, yeah.
So we
Animal
wanted
Crossing multiplayer spin-off.
Yeah.
Metroid, all go down.
So
the
we
list.
wanted Mario Galaxy 3. Instead, we get Paper Mario or Super Mario Paper
Mario
Jam,
and Luigi Paper Jam.
Mario and Luigi
horrible.
Paper Jam, and we get Mario Tennis. Which I know people love tennis, but I've never been that big of the sports
It'll
games.
sell tennis
That's their
4,000
biggest.
units.
That's the biggest thing that they announced for Wii U
Yeah.
was Mario Tennis Supercharged or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's
Ultra
called.
Smash.
Ultra
But
Smash.
You know what? In defense of Nintendo, I am an avid fan of the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi series. I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's interesting to see them together. I kind of view those two franchises as being like the cousins that live across town and never get a chance to see each other. So now mom and dad and aunt and uncle are getting the whole family together.
Right.
So
Family reunion.
That just sounds wrong.
Now, if only they'd make a sequel to Mario RPG, then everybody would be happy.
Or a remake.
But I mean, so we get that instead of getting Metroid Prime 4, we get Metroid Prime Federation Force,
Horrible.
It looks like the worst game ever made.
Right?
It literally
Yeah.
looks...
I think Metroid Prime Hunters probably had better graphics.
you guys know I'm a big Metroid fan, and this did not float my boat.
No.
This looks so bad. It's like
Why
an
would
insult.
it?
Like I said, it's like they went out of their way to make the dumbest looking
Other
game ever.
destroyed the franchise.
Well,
Let's
see,
This
make
is
it
going to
suck
be
worse.
even worse.
The interesting thing was that they announced this during the pre-show just as Blast Ball. They didn't put a franchise in it. They didn't show anything. I wrote down on here, still looking for a franchise for it. Needs a stronger brand, Metroid, ? But I knew then that wasn't what I wanted for
You're
it.
like, oh, yeah,
I
this
just
doesn't
figured that's
work.
the
Nintendo's
only
like,
thing
yeah,
that would fit.
Yeah.
And sure enough, here we are. It's basically like Prime Hunters all over again, where they tried to do all these other characters that you really don't care about. You just want Samus alone in that universe, and that's it.
Yeah. I will say I was like the only one that was excited about it, but both of the Animal Crossing games, Happy Home Designer and the Amiibo Party, I think those look fun.
Well, that's because of the Amiibo Party. You're the one that would be sold on a Mario Party spin-off.
I love Mario Party.
Not spin-off, but
Happy Home Designer looks good though. I like.
If that's what you want, but I think when people think of Animal Crossing, they don't think about that. Right?
I want it for me, and I know it's not all about me, but I want a console Animal Crossing where I have the internet connectivity of being plugged in all the time, and all of that, and the nice big world to explore, and I can go visit somebody else's world relatively easily, and all that. Just being able to design the house, it's not what I play for. I play for the fun, like the collecting stuff, the exploring around town, the building the town, not necessarily decorating my house.
And it's still early. I don't know what the final game will be, but I'm excited by the premise of it and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's coming out this fall.
Well, I just mean like they didn't really show the whole overarching.
I don't think there's much to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We can't know until it's out.
Well, that's my
point.
That's fair. Okay.
If it says
speaking of being out, I'm outie.
Peace.
Oh, okay.
Kyle's got to run. He's got games to buy and play.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, son.
But E3 was awesome.
Seriously, close it quickly so it stays cold in here.
Sure. Love you guys. Later.
Peace. So let's talk a little bit about, just quickly, there was also Fire Emblem Fates.
Don't care about
it
at all.
I have to say, I've always loved the way the CG looks in these games.
Yeah.
It looks so pretty. But the actual gameplay engine itself looks like it's still running on a GBA.
Yeah.
Because they didn't show any of that this time. I really hope that they actually put some effort into it and make that look. And I don't need graphics all the time. It's just that it's such a mismatch between the CG to the actual game engine. I wish they'd bridge that gap a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't say much about it though. I mean, it looks great, but they didn't say much about
totally
it that we didn't already know from previous events.
Well, the dumb thing about all of this, and they also did Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei, which I don't care about also. But it's just like all these weird tones going on. They had Muppets, and then they had this like weird adult-looking Fire Emblem, and then they had Developer Diaries, and then let's sit down with Skylanders for 10 minutes. It was just, I don't know, overall, like the worst presentation of any kind, digital or conference or whatever, that I think I can ever remember.
Well, I mean,
I think they deserve all the bad feedback they're getting, and they said that, hey, we're listening, thanks for watching, we'll keep this in mind. Which some people mistook as an apology, and now there's a whole story about that.
Yeah, as their stock plummets.
Well, I think the issue is that I think the tone the audience they were going for with this was kids, and the Blue Ocean of other people, which is why there's so many like side games and things like that. 'Cause they're trying to. They've got a diversified portfolio. Okay,
that's what
great.
I was actually talking
for the hardcore gamers. There wasn't anything for us.
So that's the thing. I wonder if they have some kind of market research that shows how many little kids watch these things, because it felt like it was for little kids and that was it. Well, and Nintendo always has a reputation as a kiddie company, but this just like it.
It was like the year that Cammy came out, and I was like, oh god,
that year blew this one out of the water.
No, I'm just saying
that one had Animal Crossing Wii. That one had all
horrible
kinds of stuff
compared to what they've done previous. So I don't know.
But I was saying to Nick earlier, I think part of it is that I think on some level they look back at last year and they say, well, you got the big franchises last year. You got the hardcore franchises, Mario Kart and Smash Bros. What do you want? And we got to tend to the rest of our audience now, which I think is what they did. But the point I made to Nick was that you need to have everything every year.
It needs to be a balance.
You can't just do all of this one year and then all of this the next year, because people are going to feel left out.
And I think Reggie's admission at the top of the presentation, where he said Nintendo's in transition or transformation or whatever he called it, that was them all but admitting, hey, we're not making any more Wii U games. We're putting it all into NX. They even mentioned NX by name in the Direct. If anyone would have put money on that in a bet, like nobody would have done. Like nobody would have actually expected them to say the word NX or the name NX in the digital event, but they did. It's them basically admitting, to me at least, that every single Nintendo developer is working on NX games. Nobody's working on 3DS. Nobody's working on.
It'll be real. Well, this year you look at the games that are coming, and even in early 2016, with the exception
none of them were made by
Wii U, I mean, it's
Mario Maker and Zelda Wii U are the only two that are made by Nintendo.
Right.
Everyone, Woolly World's made by someone else. Star Fox is made by someone else.
Yep.
Well, the Zelda,
all these other things.
Well, I don't know. The Zelda games, they had Enuma there and his second. But I don't know if that was because his
Oh, you mean Triforce Trackers or Triforce?
Well,
Hunters?
like the interview. Yeah. So I mean, they had one of his guys working on it. I don't know if he had his own team or if he was still working with the usual Zelda team there.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but everything else was definitely not made by Nintendo, in house.
So do we want to talk Zelda, since we kind of going with my theme from before? We wanted Zelda Wii U this year.
Yeah.
They told us it was not going to be here. Instead, we get Triforce Heroes and Hyrule Warriors Legends, the port of the game that we didn't want last year.
Yeah.
That turned out to be okay, but still, I mean, looking back on it, I'm not going to go back and play it again.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad I did play it, but it didn't grab me long term.
No, right. No, that's what the DLC was for, right?
Yeah, and that's fine, and that works for some. But I mean, I've kind of moved on. I tried it. I want I want the old standby now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Triforce Heroes sounds interesting.
I like it.
I
I like
like
the fact that there's random matchmaking. That it's not just bots to play single player. You can play with
you
strangers.
have to, talk to people with little panels.
And one of the previews that you posted,
hi.
Nick, said it was like Destiny.
Yeah.
That you're silent basically. You
Yeah.
can't talk to your teammates.
Well,
but
you've got
you can still
little
communicate.
emotes on your bottom
like
screen,
the pom-poms.
which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I like the
Pom-poms.
pom-poms. I do like the pom-poms.
You would like them, pretty
But
princess.
The idea is that you need to coordinate, and everybody on your team needs to know what their role is in order to get through it. And that sounds really cool to me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that saves me on it. Because if looking at it, I just saw it's 4 swords all over again. I did that. I'm done with that. It's not what I want.
It's still
but
a wait and
hearing
see.
that you have to coordinate makes it interesting to me. Because I will
Yeah.
play that multiplayer if that's a thing. Because there isn't much of that elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical, but I'm kind of optimistic in that it is Zelda, and I love Zelda by and large. Other than like Hyrule Warriors, I don't care about.
Yeah.
But this one is. I was kind of peaked, but I thought Link Between Worlds was a step back. I'm not as crazy on that game as other people are.
I really enjoyed it.
I did
No,
too.
I enjoyed it, but I just went to go replay it a couple weeks ago, and I just wasn't digging it. And I don't know, it doesn't age that well, and it's only been out for 2 years.
You're
I think it's just kind of an
180
ugly
guy.
art style too, and this game looked like that ugly
To
art
each
style
his
again.
own, Bradley. To each his
no.
own.
We'll see. But
Okay, so you mentioned it like 16 times. Mario Maker.
it's
It's gonna be great,
yeah, it looks
right?
Great.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still waiting for Zelda Maker.
That's the only thing I got out of this that I'm genuinely, unreservedly excited for.
That and Woolly World, I'm still excited.
Yeah, I am too. I know you're not, but I
Okay.
mean, I am because I like the way. I mean, it's classic Yoshi, with the design aesthetic, which you may not care for. I think it looks great. I think it looks really charming. I like the way that plays into how you play the game, where you throw the eggs and you stitch things, or you pull things away from the background, or whatever it is. I kind of like the way all of that interplays,
Right.
and affects the actual gameplay, and you're still doing all the collecting of the flowers and the coins and all that stuff through like ricocheting eggs and things like that.
Right.
Because there isn't anything else like a Yoshi game like that
Yeah.
that has that kind of gameplay to it.
The other thing, just talking again like broadly, was there was literally not a single game other than tennis for Wii U that they didn't announce last year. So
Yeah.
Right.
their show
Yeah.
floor, they had their big marquee signs up for Star Fox, which was announced last year,
Yeah.
Mario Maker, which was announced last year, and Yoshi, which was announced way before last year. It was announced like
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What a bummer. And I don't think they're even trying to get new Wii U owners at this point. They've admitted defeat. This was a white flag from Nintendo going, you guys won, we lost.
It might be. I mean,
Like-
and we'll have to wait and see ultimately what they choose to do. And I, like Reggie intimated on the show, right? We will hear about the NX next year.
Yeah,
And
that was
think-
my prediction. Hey, if
Yeah.
we go back and listen, I was the one who
yeah,
claimed
you
that they
did.
debut the NX next summer.
and we'll
next
see it. And I
week.
think that'll be good.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more Nintendo topics I want to touch on just quickly. The first one is Xenoblade Chronicles X. It got a lot of
Oh, got a date,
December 4th or 5th or something like that.
4th, yes.
So, if you're into that series, and it looks great. The graphics look fantastic. You know it's going to be giant. It's going to be tons of fun. That's more up your alley, Robert.
Yeah,
So-
I'm really looking forward to that. I like that it's I like the design of the worlds they do with that. Just the weird kind of architecture that they put, the way the landscapes are shaped and things like that, which you totally see in all the trailers. So it looks really interesting to me, and I like that it's so exploration based. It's a huge world, and the idea is a lot of the idea is that you're going out and exploring. You're an explorer on this new planet. You're seeing everything for the first time, which just kind of hits every RPG instinct in me. The idea of going out into the world and exploring it and seeing it for the first time, and cataloging everything that you see, and like making the map as you go, and that's your fast travel point once you've explored a sector. Is you
Right.
can fast travel back to that little hexagon on your map, and just going and filling out the map that way, I think is really exciting for me.
Yeah, I agree. And the last topic that I have is Amiibo Explosion.
Oh, that's the last topic. We're not going to talk about Star Fox.
Well, I lumped it in earlier, but if
oh,
you
yeah.
want to highlight it
kind of
specifically,
we've talked around it. Really.
Yeah,
I think we need to take a few whacks at it.
no comment, but go ahead.
Okay.
You go first. Awkward.
Yeah, I'm not. I had mentioned this to you earlier today, Nick. I'd been down on the control scheme at first. I played things like Majora's Mask earlier this year with the gyro aiming. I played Splatoon with the gyro aiming. I thought that what they were going to be doing with Star Fox was going to be would be okay. I thought it would be fine because I thought it was basically going to be dual stick shooter. Well, not shooter, but dual stick, and then you tweak from there. And then they talk a little bit more about the control scheme this time around, and the idea is the right stick is your thrust. Mm-hmm. So it's still So you're flying the R-wing with your left stick, thrusting with the with your right stick, and then aiming with the gyro. So all of that combined, plus all of the other random crap of you still got the U-turns and the loop-de-loops and the bombs and the changing modes, which could be interesting. Changing modes of your vehicle.
Oh, your face buttons are your different land. Mobile.
One of them is a toggle, basically.
Oh,
and then you've still got the barrel rolls and all that stuff too.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just feels like too much, and particularly since in the digital event they talked about simplifying control schemes and all of that stuff, and then he's like, so we wanted to put it on the gesture thing so it would make more sense and you have fewer buttons. And then we realized that we had extra buttons, so we decided to have them do this, and this. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it sounds like a mess. I mean,
it sounds like something I'm not even remotely interested in even looking at.
Well, I've long thought that Star Fox is Nintendo's worst franchise. I don't see the appeal in it at all. I never have, never will. I had Star Fox 64, but it was like, I don't know, my brother liked it. I never was into it. I just hate the art style. I don't like anthropomorphic animals, and I don't know. I just...
God.
Yeah.
I'm a hater. I'm a literal hater. I don't like Star Fox at all.
So
this game did nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm not quite as excited for it as I would like to be. Also, I have to say, for something that's supposed to be coming out this year, I don't think the graphics look that great.
Yeah.
I know. Kyle, if he were here, he thought that it looked fantastic. Yeah. I thought if you look at some of the textures in that demo, some of them were pretty darn rough.
It looked like GameCube era.
Yeah. Not very impressive.
And it's made by Platinum Games, too.
Which is even more... Well, hopefully it was just a rough idea, and we'll see something far more polished. All right, so Amiibo Explosion. There were tons of new Amiibo announced.
You got Animal Crossing. You got the rest of the
Smash
Bros., including the DLC.
Yes.
So you'll get your Lucas.
Which I can't stand how excited I am about that. And even now, that Skylanders bridge with Bowser and Donkey Kong, which is
really
very interesting. Particularly because it's got the little switch at the bottom, right? So you can turn the bottom, and then I have Amiibo, and now I've got Skylanders. So
that was very crafty.
Well, it's also really interesting to me because I've long wondered if there was going to be some kind of future additional collaboration between the two. And I'm kind of...
Disney, right?
Yeah, just like maybe there's going to... I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
I think it's a little bit weird that the game they decide, and this is on the Skylanders side of things, the Activision side of things, but I think it was interesting, or a little disappointing that the game they're putting it into is like a racer.
Right.
Yeah. The game
it just felt
crap.
A little.
The art style looked like crap.
But I mean, it's not for me.
Donkey.
So okay.
Yeah. Like I said, that section was for like 10-year-olds. I don't know. I'm not I like Amiibo, and I'm sure there are adults that like Skylanders.
You have a dealer, as our listeners know.
Yeah, well, I just say, Skylanders doesn't appeal to people as broadly as Amiibo. Like, Skylanders is way kiddier. It feels like a kid's thing.
Right.
Amiibo doesn't necessarily as much, I should say. Because it definitely does. But
So, any other thoughts on Nintendo games?
I feel like we've hit it pretty hard.
Oh,
yeah. It's like I said, it's their
with
surrendering.
Our right stick.
With our right stick.
Next year, NX blowout. That's what we get.
We will see what happens.
Wii U is dead. Long live the NX.
I just hope they make a smooth transition this time around.
Maybe NX will thrust in the right direction.
I think that's what this is. There's a reason there's no good 3DS and Wii U games coming out.
I'm cracking myself
That's fair.
up.
I hadn't considered that till you pointed it out, but now that I look at the list, I'm like, well, there's not a whole lot of Wii U on there.
They pulled everything onto the new system. That has to be what's going on.
So, we only have a few games that we haven't mentioned yet under the Square Enix banner, so we'll take the remaining time that we have to hit that. A quick comment about the PC gaming show. And
you need to worry about that.
I mean, look, the only thing we'll say is everybody said it was horrible and really needed help. So for all you PC gamers out there, it was no Bethesda. So for their first outing.
thing about being a PC gamer is there's a lot of overlap. Like, a lot of these games are coming out on PC, so it's not like they need their own special thing anyways.
Right.
I don't know.
They tried something interesting with the talk show format.
Right. Well, that always works well on stage, So, there's really only 3 titles in the Square Enix show that I don't think we've specifically touched, and I want to make sure we do touch on them.
Go ahead.
The first one being Deus Ex.
I'm still excited for that.
Mankind Divided. It's getting great press. Everybody on Facebook, every time we post something about it, it gets like 600 likes. So, I mean, people care about it. I never got into the series, honestly, so I don't know all that much about it.
The new one looks too much like the old one. It's like the same font, same art. Like,
I would be more than willing to loan you the old one, except that I worry that I might not get it back. Hugs and kisses, but...
I do like holding on to your things.
Whoa.
Anyway...
Whoa.
So go ahead.
I don't know. I don't care about
this show is
Deus
just
Ex.
way too much stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a giant... Okay. But, so you think it's going to be good?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. Star Ocean, right? 5? Is it 5 now?
Oh, yeah.
It got... I mean, if you are a fan of the series, it's like been the thing you've been waiting for. If Kyle were here, he'd be like, oh my god, we're totally going to... And it would just go on for several more minutes of ooga, ooga. But my point is that it's coming out. Interesting. We'll see. Meh.
I don't care.
I'm
not an RPG person at all, so it's like none of this is my stuff.
Well, it doesn't like you either. And the thing that Kyle really missed is Kingdom Hearts 3.
No, he missed World of Final Fantasy.
Wow.
How about Lara Croft Go or Tomb Raider Go or whatever? Equally as
Lara Croft Go.
Yeah.
The Lara Croft stupid spin-off
on
games.
mobile. Yeah, meh. But yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, it looked like Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's not my cup of tea, so I don't know.
Yeah, super hardcore fan base. They're getting what they want, so more power to them. I haven't played any of them, so I can't speak to it. But I mean, I know Kyle is over the moon on this one. He should probably, he should write an article.
Yeah, or
since he didn't have a chance to sound off on this one.
On it. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of like the massive list that we've got a few minutes left. I mean, was there anything else big that we really missed?
A couple stragglers.
Go ahead.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, I'm stoked about.
Yeah, I saw you post on Twitter.
I just love it. And then I made our account retweet me because it's so good.
Hey, it's okay. I've got some favorites and stuff.
I'm just looking at my list on the wall there.
Oh. Nice. Tony Hawk is a big one because, by all accounts, it's like the real sequel to the original series that we've been waiting for like 10 years. Like everything you want from it sounds like it has a good soundtrack. Tony Hawk's promising. He said specifically songs that didn't make the cut from the old series. A lot of those are getting pulled for the new one. So I was hoping it wouldn't be a lot of contemporary, like emo, screamo, whatever skater kids like now. And then it'd be like old school, late 90s, early 2000s, like skater culture, whatever. Like Del the Funky Homo Sapien and stuff, which is awesome.
Oh my god. Anyway.
But I can't wait. It looks 60 frames per second. People are down on the graphics, but I don't care. It looks fun. So that's a big one for me. That kind of slipped through the cracks. It wasn't a big...
Sure.
Oh, the other thing was my favorite trailer of E3. You know what's coming. Metal Gear Solid 5. That trailer pulled on my heartstrings.
I really hoped
I still think
we were going to get out a show in without talking about that damn game.
I still think, mark my words, I've said it once, I'll say it again, that game is going to have the highest reviews of any game this calendar year and will be...
Can we move on since he's spoken on this topic before?
But I will say...
No, but specifically the E3 trailer. One of the great trailers
look, it was
ever.
good, but I'll say to you that all the articles that posted on Facebook got the worst trending anytime they mentioned anything about Metal Gear Solid compared to Fallout or any of this. Like, no one cares.
I don't care if it's popular. It's the best game of the year.
It's gonna be okay, Rob.
Okay, just real quick, since Brad wasted time beating that horse. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, okay.
I think looks really interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way the hunting looks in that. The weapons look really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of future after the fall sort of thing.
Too much chatter in that game. When she shoots something, she's like, "Sorry."
Wow.
But I think that looks really cool. Robot dinosaurs taken down with a bow and arrow. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Shooting weak points for massive damage.
Sony's old trick.
And there was an article went out today
from.
Thank you. Actually, there's an article going out today saying that Sony thought it was a risk putting a female heroine in the game.
I saw that,
which I think is absolute crazy.
No, it's not, because if you think back, history shows that Sony funded and published the female-exclusive game Heavenly Sword, and that game was kind of a total dud commercially.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's because of the female character.
I'm just saying there's precedent. I'm not. Trust me, I'm 100% feminist in games, whatever, you
my
name it.
God.
I'm just saying, it's not as crazy to think
We don't
that.
want to know about your habits, okay? Thanks.
Hey, wait a second.
So what about... Okay, so the last most important questions.
Okay.
Who won?
Sony. Hence the shirt.
I'm going to go dark horse here and say Sony was already on top, so
Yeah?
they just got further on top. I'm
Yeah.
going to say Microsoft did the most good
I
for
think
themselves.
They
Microsoft
did.
had a
They
great
did
show.
have a really
They
good
did.
show.
Because if they convinced me, literally they convinced me to buy an Xbox One, so they
Yeah.
did their
Well,
job
that's-
on
I
some
mean,
level.
And that's exactly what they were going for. They were looking
Yeah.
for migration.
looking
of-
for idiots
of-
like Brad.
Yeah, they were looking for
wait a
migration of 360
kidding.
owners with things like the backwards compatibility, with the rare stuff. They had a lot of like trial things with
Yeah. EA
early
access.
EA early access, things like
Yeah.
that. PC modding they brought in.
Yeah.
To kind of to offer things. They're starting to build up cross-platform between Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yeah, which is
so
really cool.
they're doing a lot of building for the future. They put on a really good show.
Yeah,
this
and
year.
I think Bethesda actually had a great showing, considering it was their first outing, and I think
Yeah.
it was nice to see a publisher come out and do something that was as big a scale and as successful.
And not as hokey as something like Ubisoft, where it's this like, and it's like trying to be funny. They were just like, all right, here's our stable of games.
So
whatever.
the final question: who lost?
Nintendo.
I don't know if I'd go that far. They did not do well, but I don't know if I don't know if they think. I think they
I'm
lost.
gonna go with Brad only because I don't think I've seen or paid attention to really until this year the backlash. I've never seen the backlash of
deserve
a
it.
press conference
Well, I
like
don't-
that. Where it was like, this was so bad, epically bad. I mean, everybody
there's-
says something about it.
There's a petition trying to get them to not make Federation Force the Metroid game.
Yeah. It's honestly like it looks so
you know
bad.
it's bad when. What are
Please
they
just
thinking?
cancel the game.
I mean, there are memes out there, meme graphics of what we wanted, what we got with the Animal Crossing games, the Mario games, all of that stuff, the Metroid games too.
Like
mean,
I said,
it's all over the place.
It literally looks like they went out of their way to make the worst looking, dumbest games.
I just don't understand it. I really don't.
You have to scratch your head. It's that, or I guess nothing. Like I said, because they're not
Right.
making anything else. What it was is they have some random, American team probably working on Metroid Federation Force, and they probably wasn't even a Metroid game. They probably just
They gave it to all
shoehorned
the
Metroid in.
noobs.
Yeah, so they're kind of licensing out all their properties, which is they even made a joke about it. Nintendo's notorious about keeping it close to their chest, and it's like, well, yeah, but there's a reason because you end up with Federation Force otherwise.
Horrible.
Like, I'd
Yeah.
much rather
That may
wait
be
10
the-
years between games if
That
they're
may
good.
be the ET of the
Like,
3DS. It's pretty bad. Okay, anything else for any of the other things with the game, the E3 conference? Anything? I
See
can't
if
believe
we're
we
good.
squeezed this in. Okay, everybody, somehow, through the power of magic, we squeezed this in. Wow. Apparently there was some thrusting. Anyway, so the moral of the story is you should check us out on Facebook, on Twitter at GamerFeed Radio, GamerFeedRadio.com, new design, all new experience. Check it out. We got all the conferences available on iTunes and iHeartRadio, where everybody is listening, and I do mean everybody. Until the next time we hang out, peace.